or what? Starting very
Oh,
cool.
really?
Yeah lah.
Oh, I'm so blur.
You blur monkey. Oh, you trying to do ASMR or what? Hey, yo. Hey, stop scaring me lah, monkey. Oi. Hey, wanna make it darker or what? Yeah. Oh, you order Chinese. Online oh my god. Very happy. That's good. One's unhappy now, you monkey. Okay. Not quite good. Bad. Jalan. Alright, that was. Yo, it's Alexan. F you lah. Yo, we got Sham in the stream. Oh shit. I will slap you. Look your formula next time.
My bad.
My bad. What you trying to do? They haven't started yet, someone. Hey, I wish I can go to Aniq spot. You dry my hair. There's not even enough. Nothing behind me. Behind you. Hey. Hi. Only second half. Only can hit but only. Don't push. Whoa. How you gonna get that? Get up. I have the no. What do you mean no piece, Alex? Come on, I give you a piece of my hand. I give you a piece of Isaac. Better. Oi, stop it lah. Just like hey, shut up, you! Hey, you see what? I will spare you! Basket is bye. Shut up, shut up. I forgot to put a hashtag with the
Your laptop cooler.
oh shit, I forgot to turn my laptop cooler.
Wait, the one that's down.
Oh. I spare ah. Fuck you.
$10.
Hey, $1. Không mấy. Yeah. Monkey. Guys, I want to say hi to Jesse. That. Hey, blind on. Blue. Hi. Hello. Today I'm with the two monkeys, and it's so dark because of this monkey Isaac. Hey, can you turn on the light down there or not?
Huh?
Turn on this light. Hey, buto. I see turn on the light down there. Hey, sini lah. Ya ni lah. There's a red button down there. Red button. Yeah.
Hey, that's the
We open buto already because of this. Oh my god, you guys can. The white man, bro. Okay. So yeah, let's do a bit of commotion because of this fat fuck doesn't know. Hey, don't lah. Don't lah. Save out your sperm for your. Okay, we're gonna watch Vita, carnis, so I decided to bring the two boys just from okay, we're gonna start then.
Bodoh.
What's that? What?
Enak.
Okay, so this is about the carnis. So it's about like living meat. Like you didn't know. It's about like creatures that look like animals without skin. Like yeah. Stop spoiling the whole thing, bro. Fucker, only there's some people have watched it. Okay, then we're gonna start right now. Hey, stop it lah, Isaac.
On planet Earth, life has thrived for millions of years.
Turn on the subtitles. Where's the subtitles at? Because the viewers will not understand. Bro, these are auto-generated, bro. This is shit, bro. I don't give a shit, bro.
Creatures big and small have found ways to adapt and evolve to flourish in all types of environments.
Hey, the elephant.
From barren wastes to lush forests, life can be found. Earth has homed these creatures since the dawn of life itself. Only until very recently, things have changed. New life forms have appeared all around the globe and completely changing the balance of nature and what we know about evolution itself. That is why we, at National Living Meat Research, studying these species, trying to help educate everyone about these creatures and their wondrous
I don't
ways of
learn
life.
about it. Like,
First, what are these new life forms?
right.
Since their explosive arrival across
I
the
mean,
globe
I will
in
not jump in the air, like,
1931, there has
those
been
two will.
much debate on what these newcomers are and where they came from.
So what? You said it.
Are
I'm jumping
they
in the air.
extraterrestrials
Alex,
coming to invade Earth?
both monkeys.
Or are they demons who come from hell to purge humanity?
In Albion,
Hey, what is?
know all
Hey!
your mouth will accompany you on your journey. Perhaps you'll pick the others.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
From
know
what
why.
our scientists have discovered, no. The origins of these creatures are solely to Earth, miraculously out of nowhere. We don't know why or how, but one thing is for certain, Earth is now their home. What these creatures are is mysterious and still not well known today. But here's what we do know. These creatures are comprised mainly of muscle tissue, organs, and bones. They greatly resemble animals with no skin or store-bought meat. Because of these characteristics, they have been named accordingly as Vita carnis. The carnis species consume decaying, organic matter, but their main diet is composed of raw meat, not including their carnis relatives. The carnis only appear in places where there is an abundance of crawl, which leads to the first creature of the carnis species, the crawl. The crawl is a growth of meaty tendrils that closely resemble the small intestine, the only difference being the dark red coloration. These tendrils grow in a similar pattern as vines, mold, or fungi.
Bro, like you, Isaac.
A primary stem structure is the host of divisions of other, smaller branches. In each tendril contains a variety of veins, arteries, and other similar organs used to transport nutrients absorbed from its surroundings. The ends of these tendrils are equipped with organelles used to absorb water and organic matter necessary for growth. The source of these organic materials is mainly found in dirt and soil on surrounding surfaces. Using its root-like tendrils, it absorbs the material and processes it into usable energy. Although, the crawl also obtains energy through another means. Using a sophisticated form of photosynthesis, the dark pigmentation of the smaller branches is ideal for absorbing sunlight, and therefore allowing solar energy.
Hey, window, not lights like monkey. Window. He's stupid or what? Hey, I cannot go out lah. These tall fellas. Hey, I don't care if a bird hit.
Energy to fuel the crawl's growth. Because of
What are you doing?
it thrives in almost all types of environments, easily allowing
Oi,
it to
stop
spread
me like
across
that.
the world and can be
Go back,
found
go
pretty
back,
much
go back.
anywhere. Its recent inclusion in the
Oh,
ecosystem
it's
has
the same-
caused many major changes
Tall fella, Isaac.
across the world to fuel the crawl's growth. Because of its efficiency, it thrives in almost all types of
Ooze everywhere. I could not put this part of it.
environments, easily
Hey, Singapore, no. Singapore is down there. That's Singapore. Wait, no, that's Australia. My bad. Singapore this big or not? Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Australia's the size of
Pluto,
Indonesia.
what do you mean? Singapore, so what? There's Malaysia down there. And then got
allowing it to spread across the world and can be found pretty much anywhere. Its recent inclusion in the ecosystem
My
has
house!
caused many
Oh my
major
God,
changes
me.
in nature's
That's-
balance. One may assume that the crawl's presence may outcompete any other competitors, but due to its unique life cycle, where old branches fall off and decay into nutrient-rich compost, all forms of life seemingly flourish instead. The crawl's abundance grants plenty of nourishment to all animals, from plants feeding on the decayed crawl, herbivores thriving on increased plant population, and carnivores feeding on both the abundant prey, and are able to eat the crawl as well. The presence of all these animals leave behind waste, which will be
Hey, no,
broken
no,
down
no.
and consumed by the crawl, and the cycle begins again.
Hey, the camera on. You can see what you can
This
go your
form of
work lah. Apa lah
symbiosis
ni?
leads to an environment where all populations thrive. Humanity also uses the crawl to our advantage. Because of the supernatural rate of growth and its richness in nutrients, it has been sustainably
It's always hidden message.
because of the supernatural rate of growth.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Isaac, I already missed the part already.
And its rich
Go back to the. Wait, wait.
Because of the supernatural rate.
Like the. Oh, she could be watching this, bro. Hi. Hey, that video. Hey, why she say I look goofy ah, Seoul? Oh, Isaac, one of your next. Wait, wait. I cannot get a message ready. Yeah, lah, but I cannot get the newspaper. My continue on. See, this like end of right like
and its richness in nutrients, it has been sustainably cultivated into domestic farms. The crawl is harvested and processed into fertilizer, which greatly increases crop yield and quality. The crawl may also be used as a food source for humans, and reliably so. But due to its unkindly appearance and taste, it has yet to reach cuisine standards. The crawl also plays a very important role in the next creatures that we have been studying. Sometimes, in a crawl-populated environment, a node of meat may develop on one of the branches. This node will fall off and grow into a functioning organism, and go to live on as an independent animal. This leads us to the upcoming species that we will be discussing. The first of these creatures are
Meatball!
the
Meatball!
trimmings.
Meatball boy!
Trimmings are small animals that resemble skinned raccoons. They are commonly known to have a plugged body, round head, small eyes, no ear holes, and an agape mouth. They are also equipped with a diversity of limbs. All individual trimmings are unique, each with a different body shape, number of limbs, and other characteristics. One thing they all share in common is that they are mostly of meat tissue, and are a maximum of 20 centimeters in length, no larger than a basketball. Its life starts with its separation from the crawl. It will wonder to find anything that is edible and able to consume. Although it is an omnivore, being able to hunt meat and forage for plant matter, trimmings are almost entirely scavengers. Their diet consists of rotting plants and meat, including, but not limited to, fruits, vegetables, roots, seeds, insects, and deceased animals. Although its appearance is unsightly, it is a cowardly creature.
What is this? Just imagine. Spray. Now not then you think about ah. Now meat lah you. Oh. Makan only lah. Makan like nam only. Wait, light so bright. At least we got a key light down there lah. Light. I got light.
Only fleeing, screeching, and hiding when threatened. Because of its lack of defensive traits, it lies near the bottom of the food chain, making it easily overpowered and picked off very regularly by predators. Naturally, its population would eventually die out. This is not the case. The crawl constantly produces a large quantity of trimming nodes, keeping up their
Maybe if
numbers.
the fence.
Naturally, trimmings can be found wherever there is abundant crawl.
Hey, we can find them in Singapore down there. Eh, mana? Don't lah. Later buy my bobot there. Good. Eh, F you ah. The dog. Harap close lah. Oh shit, you almost hit my monitor. Hey, I will smack you. This bongok ah. Heavy head. Heavy my ass lah, boy. No, it's not that.
Trimmings grow at a decent pace, reaching
Like you
maturity
are.
at around 7 months, having a maximum lifespan of 2 to 4 years.
I only see you.
Although they are plentiful, humanity has no proper way to implement trimmings into
I will sort
society.
them.
Their overabundance has even considered them
What did I do?
Yeah, what do they invade the house? You down there. What you doing inside? Makan. In someone's basement. Yeah, just down there.
pests. Due to them digging through trash bins and
Dude, that's your child lah. It's good. Oh, of course you're always eating. Yeah. Hey, what's that? Is that a human corpse down there?
making excessive noise at night. Besides all of this, some people still keep
You got that quote from Mark, the Mortal Mark. Stop that, bro. Man, you're leaking that. I already watched this, bro. Yeah. So, bro, imagine seeing this inside Kembangan. This thing is
trimmings as pets, and relatively domesticate them. Nuisance or not, trimmings are a wondrous creature, plentiful numbers, to their skittish nature.
Aniq, did you get down the ground? Let's go.
They are truly a
Hey,
thing to
shut up,
behold.
that's not me.
The next species on our
F1.
list is
Sausage. Yeah. Right now, because someone is yummy.
the meat snake. The meat snake.
Nari.
I need to find.
Shut up, man! Shut up! That's all you need.
It's brilliant.org.
The meat snake is a worm-like creature.
Wait, my mother calling me. Go. Isaac and yeah, I made it. Huh? I never eat anything. I'll buy photo. Later, apa can order food? I feel I'm not. Oi, mana kau balik pergi? Wing. Wing. Yalah, wih, biar naik tengok ni. What? Touch batok also lah. Okay, let's resume the video. Sorry for the interruption because my mother had to call.
Creature made
What the shit? Ignore the message. I said, let's continue the show.
of a variety of types of meat, coated in a transparent, skin-like membrane.
Looks like it's still skin.
Its size varies during its lifespan, depending on how much it consumes.
Alamak,
When it
another
first separates
Aniq.
from the crawl, it is only
On
a
Aniq
few
mana?
centimeters
On me
in
ah?
length. Eventually, it will reach an average length of 5 meters. Although, under extreme conditions, like natural disasters,
not like you,
war,
I
or
said,
plague,
like 5.
it can greatly surpass this length. The meat snake's diet consists entirely of dead animals or parts.
This what? These nuts ah. Put it lah. Until you conk in your pants.
Capable of consuming a healthy living organism. The meat snake allocates its food by using a tongue-like organ covered in
Why does it do lickers ah? Yeah, what's it lickers? Really people with tongue ah. F you ah.
sensors to touch and feel its environment. The sensors catch particles of decaying meat, notifying the meat snake that there is food nearby. This process shares many similarities to regular
Dia
snakes,
control ah.
hence the meat snake. Once it locates the corpse, the meat snake will open its
That's
jaw and
Isaac.
swallow the
Nom.
entire body whole.
Nom.
Once the entire body is consumed, the meat snake's stomach will release a variety of
Hey,
chemicals.
oi.
Some will break down soft tissue like skin and the connection points between muscles. Others chemicals will then ferment and preserve the tissue to keep it from breaking down for as long as possible.
Yummy. Kau dah
After
turn on the
that,
subtitle.
the remaining flesh and bones will move along the meat snake's tract and slowly be implemented into its own structure, extending the meat snake. Unsatisfactory parts like skulls, pelvises, hair, and fingernails will be excreted. Speaking of skulls, the meat snake will take the skull from the consumed organism.
Hey, no.
Each meat snake has its own skull, each corresponding to what that one has consumed. During its lifespan, it will swap or replace
Wait.
these skulls if needed.
Where I found some.
A
People,
meat
I
snake's
heard
lifespan of skulls.
That's not like I
The
heard
meat
like
snake will take the skull
Wait,
from the
okay.
consumed organism and use it as
Oh,
its.
I need. Since when you can do that?
So,
Wait.
Each
like
meat
this,
snake has its own skull.
Hey, you yes, one that look like girls, girl. And this one look like long nose, and he knows like look like Mr. from Glue from Glue. Yeah.
each corresponding to what that one has consumed.
It kind of looks like. I don't think my lord can.
During its lifespan, it will swap or replace these skulls if needed. A meat snake's lifespan depends entirely on how much a meat snake consumes. The longest one has lived for was 28 years. The meat snake has no predators and is immune to disease due to its preserving chemicals.
Isaac,
The only significant ways a meat snake can die is through starvation, burning, or complete destruction of the meat snake's membrane coating.
alamak, Aniq can go extinct if he doesn't makan or.
Interestingly, the meat snake is the only member of the carnis family.
What? Wait, he's sleeping or taking a shower? Have you ever just slept in the? Have you ever?
Family that is able to reproduce. When a meat snake reaches an
I
excessive
remember seeing
size
it.
and is in the
Hey,
condition
tengok. I
it will
remember.
commence
This is
mitosis,
it.
split itself in two. Then the male and meat snake
Oh my God,
will go on their
nectar.
separate ways and live on as two distinct organisms.
Stop stick. Yeah.
Meat snakes can only be found in moderate temperature climates, not too hot.
Anyway, I did.
Not too cold. Their population depends entirely
Tinggal
on the amount of
pun.
corpses available.
Aku nak makan.
Where there is death, there are meat snakes. Humanity will use them to our advantage. Meat snakes are a very efficient and clean way of disposing of any meat products. The preserving fluid within the meat snake's body disinfects the carrion, preventing the spread of disease. Humans use meat snakes in butcher shops as a waste
There you
bin,
go,
dispose roadkill, within war on the battlefield to dispose of
Oh, God.
festering bodies
There you
and
go,
parts,
whoa.
and within zoos to dispose of deceased animals. They are extremely tame,
Whoa.
not caring if any creature is around them, only acting defensively when it is within consuming a meal.
Hey.
This means they are
Huh?
very easy to tame.
Oh.
Overall, meat snakes are a marvelous creature with a very
Boy, you look. You look.
Eh, Kimayu.
interesting way of sustaining itself. It is an amazing experience to encounter one, as long as you don't mind the smell. Our next creature is the mimic.
This thing, this is the best part. Yeah, this
The mimic is a shadow creature.
no, see, tengok tu.
Finally.
No, this Isaac. Bro, my neck hurts every time I look at you, bro. Short ass. Shut up, you. Yeah, too long. You still have brought
Creature with uncanny similarities to humanoid anatomy. They greatly resemble humans without
I think if the door actually opened, it's probably.
skin, with added exaggerated features. These features include extended finger length, longer limbs, bulging,
Yeah. It's in the finger legs being like, yeah.
eyes, and their most prominent
Cepat lah. Cepat lah, babi. Okay, lah. Continue the reaction.
feature, a wide, teeth-filled smile.
Oh, I explain. This is why I don't. This is why I only smirk. I don't smile at all. Yo.
Although it resembles a happy face, this is due to coincidence, and is only how their facial structure is shaped. The maw of the mimic contains much more teeth than humans, and their teeth is comprised almost entirely of incisors, with some canine and
Like a. Yeah,
molars in the back. This tooth composition is ideal for biting down onto meat and swallowing Chuck's whole.
Oh
A
look.
mature mimic's diet is
Hey,
comprised
Aniq,
of
Aniq, Aniq, Aniq. Here. I don't know.
meat and swallowing Chuck's whole.
The best
A
part.
mature mimic's diet is comprised entirely of human flesh.
Let's wait for like the
Because of this, they are found solely around
Hey, Russia so good. Still, you don't mimic the bacon boys like hanging out.
Hey, Singapore don't have, right?
Lucky. Hey, Singapore, I think have.
It's
No, Singapore down there. I go Brazil lah. Even better. What's it called? Greenland. I go Australia. China. China got lah. Yeah lah. I go Australia lah. I go far for Philippines lah. Philippines have like nah, even better. Where?
around human populated areas. The mimic's life cycle is made of 3 stages. In the first
Pendek.
Hey, bro.
What is worrying about my dog?
Bro, imagine pocong come there.
Hey, it's sunny day, boy. Stupid monkey. It's a baby.
stage,
Hey, no.
a young mimic separates from the crawl. They closely resemble
Hey,
their trimming
hey.
relatives, but are thin, sleek, and only have 4 appendages. In this
Hey.
stage, the young mimic will hunt small animals, moving on to larger and larger as they grow. Once large enough, it will begin metamorphosis into the next stage of life.
And like he grows so small like now.
Once fully transformed, it will resemble the description
Hey,
mentioned in the beginning.
Oh my god, the resemblance. You know the viewers can't even see, right? Resemblance. Yes. It's so bright.
Its hunting style changes.
Whoa, hey, he's so talented. He won't. He said on the door, still. No, that's me. That's me after half four. Yeah, you like. Yo, he kind of look like me if I. Oh, botak.
Changes and becomes much more complicated. It now stalks
Hey. Hey. What you doing? Okay. Oh,
Watching somebody.
no, I see look like it's a black box. Here, looks like.
and feeds only on humans. It will locate human populated area and begin its search for an easy target. To blend in, it may use objects to conceal itself. These include clothing, mannequins, and furniture.
Who the fuck? Yeah. Oh shit.
Once a target has been found,
Hey, what's small?
Me? Hey, who's this?
I don't know. No lah, now he's just talking girls. He's talking girls lah.
the mimic will observe its prey and learn its routine and when it is most vulnerable. This
Hey,
is
oh,
typically
tengok,
when the
tengok.
human is asleep at night. Once the prey is
Hey,
within
no, tengok.
position, the mimic will
Like this, what
advance
the fuck are you
silently
doing?
until it is close enough. The mimic will then execute and immediately begin consumption.
Yummy.
Once the mimic has had its fill, it will leave the scene, a fair distance away from the
Do that.
human population, and begin to digest its meal.
And then he becomes so blind and he didn't even know that. Oh my god, it's Nexus. AFK. He said he's AFK somehow in the real world.
Although, in the case that a human is awake, a mimic will use a variety of sounds to either lure or startle prey into cornering themselves.
We need actual headphones. I heard it. I heard a door knocking sound. You don't hear?
Yeah.
Its meal. Although, in the case that a human is awake, a mimic will use a variety of sounds to
I'm
either
trying to
lure or
raise the
startle
volume.
prey into cornering themselves. Once a human is in place, it will swiftly attack and kill the helpless target.
Ayo, Isaac, why is talking girl?
Boy.
Betul lah. Alamak, he banging the door.
Oh my.
Hey, Isaac! See my body pillow. It's probably going to be the scariest thing ever.
Hey.
Yeah!
Oh, like,
Hey! Trying to find. Wait, Hi! Not so high! My pussy, yeah. Okay, 7. Close my.
Get over.
Eh, that's not. Oh! Oh no!
Nice
Oh
fingers,
no!
ah.
Oh no!
Nice
Oh
fingers.
no! Bro, this is what happens when you chew your nails, bro. This dude.
Whoa, yeah. Hey, what are you so scared? Why are you so scared?
Yeah, I scared right there. I couldn't see my pencil.
The next stage of the mimic's life cycle has two
I'm
potential
gonna ask you.
morphs it may develop into. If a mimic has a consistent supply of food, it will develop more human-like features. It will grow skin, hair, and by the end will look nearly identical to a human being. It now can blend entirely into civilization and lure other humans more effectively.
Oh, man.
If you're a web
Hey,
designer,
get out of here.
Vic Studio
I'm
features.
The second type of morph happens when a mimic receives an overabundance of food. It will grow into a larger,
I got one.
more evolved hunter.
Hey, Isaac become the black man. He's now become the true intruder. Hey, he's gonna intrude everybody. Like this.
Its proportions will increase.
Hurry up lah. Hey,
Oh my
door. Door. What is this? What are you trying to do? Act like Pontiana. Yeah. Yeah, wait for Isaac first. I know it's the area, bro. Hey. Hey. Yeah, lah.
Oh, bro.
You stupid. Get out. Hey, open the door lah. You are. You are. Hey, you open lah. Hey, stop it lah. Open the door lah. You are open the door. Hey, what am I? Toilet now. You mean the toilet now? Huh? The way? Yeah. Yeah.
In length, and its humanoid features will fade away. It grows a thick, dark
Oi.
coating of a flexible skin, which is
You
highly
are.
durable and
You are good
increases
only.
in strength the more the elder mimic consumes. This excludes the face, which is now coated.
No, I can. Hey, imagine in Malaysia, you want to go outside you want to go out of your house and your toilet is outside. Hey, you want later you how?
Look so happy.
Eh, sekali makan you ah.
No. You're very juicy.
Because you have a lot of bubble inside lah.
In a pale pink skin. The mimic's teeth have also moved deeper into the mimic's throat, leaving its mouth a toothless grin. It uses the dark hue of its skin to hide seamlessly within a dark environment. Its skills have also been.
He got a hole in his mouth. Yeah, look.
This makes an elder mimic one of the most efficient predators on the planet. Because of the obvious threat that
Alamak, Isaac is straight lah.
this poses on humanity, nations around the world have released instructions on how to be able to fend for yourself in a mimic encounter. Here are the instructions.
1. Avoid going out alone if your location is
If
known
you
to
want to
have
go out at night, I
mimics,
call you
or
guys.
there have been mimic sightings. 2. If you
Like-
encounter a stationary mimic, seemingly unfazed by your presence, quietly leave the location and alert your local authorities.
Hey,
3. If pursued by a mimic, get yourself into a position where you are able to flee. Mimics will rarely attack if a person has a clear escape route. 4. In the event that you have been cornered by a mimic, roll into the fetal position, protecting your neck, face, and vital organs from attack. Make as much noise as you can to alert any other people.
Every time
what?
I sit down, I throw you like, and I am screaming, and I am screaming at you.
5. If
Run.
you have a weapon, do not use it. A mimic is fairly resilient, and any strikes or shots on a mimic is not effective enough to bring it
Oh!
down in time. Instead, use it as a barrier between you and the mimic to block any attacks. 6. In a situation where a mimic is hunting in the immediate area and is not aware of your position, hide somewhere low, like under a bed or behind other furniture.
Oh.
A mimic will not linger too long to search for prey and will move on.
Be safe and avoid any encounters with a mimic at all costs. Next up, the harvester. The harvester.
I have more exposure.
The harvester is a large,
Wait.
bulb-
Oh shit. Hey, you break my chair. I was like, bro, I can barely even fit the frame, bro. Can't. Okay. Bro, we both clicked at the same time. Hey, stop me lah.
mass, with a large amount of tendrils spreading from the base. The bulb measures around 3 meters in height and 2 meters in diameter. The tendrils, on the other hand, can extend up to 150 meters in diameter horizontally.
Hey, bola.
The harvester is a specialized form of call that grows in a very deadly way. A harvester is created harvester, instead of separating, continues to grow. Eventually, it will grow tendrils of its own.
This can't.
It uses the energy provided
Okay lah,
by
we
its
stop
mother
lah.
branch.
Please,
Yeah.
please, have mercy on me, please.
Yeah, no problem.
Yo, can I borrow you?
And expands its reach further. Its tendrils, hidden just below the surface of the ground.
Hey,
The harvester is equipped with two types of specialized
Damn.
tendrils. The first type is bulky and flat. They lie the closest to the surface. These branches are lined on each length of the tendril with spines, extending in the shape of a bear trap. On each side of the branch, those particular spines have a vein that feed into them, that pump two types of venom. On one side, the spines can inject a neurotoxin, which will attack the nervous system of whomever it is injected into, causing sudden paralysis. The other side can inject an anticoagulant, which when injected, prevents blood cells from clotting. Whenever a large animal moves across the area armed with these tendrils, the branches will clamp onto the animal and thrash violently. Once the prey has been injected with both venoms, the tendrils will rest and the prey will immediately collapse. The animal will be unable to move due to the paralysis, and the wounds caused by the thrashing spines will not stop bleeding. All the prey can do is lie patiently, until succumbing to blood loss. Once the prey has bled out, the second type of tendrils come in. They lie below the spine equipped once. These branches are thick, but very sturdy. They share similar anatomy to the small branches of the crawl, equipped with organelle that absorbs nutrients. These tendrils sense the blood, and move their way to the surface and begin to absorb the vital fluid. Once the blood has been consumed, the tendrils will wrap around the body and begin to shuffle downwards. This movement loosens the soil and slowly pull the body underground. Once secure, the tendrils will continue to feed until there is nothing but scraps. The nourishment absorbed by the tendrils will be sucked back into the main bulb of the harvester.
I'll fuck you so hard.
This bulb houses all
Okay,
the
I
vital
become-
organs and the venom into the spines. The nutrients are then converted into usable energy. The remains underground decompose, providing a rich soil, causing very prominent plant growth, which then attracts more animals. A strange behavior the harvester displays as its choice of diet. The spines will only activate on larger animals, allowing smaller ones to pass by unaffected. The spines will also not activate on some species of bird. There are a couple theories as to why this happens. One, it could be that attacking smaller animals would cost too much energy for what they get in return, making it not worth the time. Another could be that smaller animals may attract larger animals or predators, allowing a safe place where prey may thrive and lure more predators. It truly is astonishing.
Give me your ball.
Although it is a spectacular creature, it is also very
I don't know this
dangerous.
person, but
The harvester is decently rare, only populating sparse areas in the northern hemisphere and woodland forests.
I didn't want to get.
If you are stung by a harvester, there will be no way of helping you, being that there is no cure, and fatality is 100% positive. The best thing you can do is avoid encountering a harvester in the first place. If you are hiking, take note of any
Just me. Oh, seriously. Yee! What are you doing in that video to him?
warnings or signs saying that there are harvesters around. If you also notice an abundance of lush, ground-dwelling plants in a forested area, and there are no signs of wildlife, this is suspicious and you should leave the area, staying close to the base of large trees or rocks. If you find yourself in the middle of a harvester ground, do not panic. Sudden movements may activate the tendrils and will inject you. Although a harvester is rather forgiving, do not risk any
she could be watching.
movements. Remain calm. If you have any objects with considerable heft, like coats, backpacks, or full water bottles, gently take that object and lightly toss it towards the bulb and away from your escape route. This will activate the spawn.
Yeah, if only I wasn't happy.
Kalau who's get trapped? Ah!
Hey,
do
do
ya.
Yo.
Sorry, sorry. Ah.
Wait, what? I used to smoke.
Sorry, walao eh. You bad friend. Hey, Luna.
Lines on where the object lands, distracting the bulb for a moment. You will then slowly begin
my
to do
God,
wide
dummy.
shuffles away from the bulb.
Chicken nugget.
If possible,
what the-
throw another object when you are certain you are a fair enough distance away, just to be safe. Continue until you are completely sure you are out of harm's way. You may come out unscathed, but don't be too obnoxious. You will be a harvester's next meal. Next up is the host.
Alamak.
You, really?
No, that's not me. Alamak.
But, oh,
I know.
yo, keep it there.
It's not me lah. What I do?
Man.
Damn.
It looks like saying a banana.
And this one you are Isaac 2.0.
The host of influence. The host of influence, more commonly referred to as the host, has its name derived from a host who invites guests to an event. Not to be confused with a host, a harborer of parasites or disease. The host is a semi-humanoid-looking organism. It has the structure of a head, torso, and arms. Other than this, it shares no other characteristics. The lower half of the host is comprised of a mass of fibrous tissue and tendrils that burrow into the ground to hold the host in place. Instead of skin, the host is covered in muscular tissue fibers, tendons, and veins. In some parts of the body are covered in a meaty plate, used to cover any large exposed areas, allowing movement. The host's head has a smooth surface where the face should be, attached to a crooked neck, which houses a slit in the front used for feeding.
It's not me lah.
On the host's back is a mound of pores. Protruding from these pores are hollow, hair-like
Oh my God, my
structures,
face.
extending outwards.
I have way too many pores.
These hairs are barrels that
It's
release
genetic.
spores produced within host's body by being fired into the air. These spores are hazardous, so keep clear of them at all costs. Luckily, the host is rare, only found in North America.
It's not Jessie ah. Bro, she lives in the US, bro. Of course ah. Then. Shit. Wait. I can't tell.
Okay, so let me just analyze. Australia,
Brazil.
ice bar,
Madagascar. Africa. Wait, fair geography.
yeah. I have my report card right now.
Obtaining info about the host is a
Yo, someone taking a video of you. Old man 2.0. Stop it lah, ni. Try to summon me. Hey, I say.
very risky and daunting task. This is because
Banana!
of the rarity and of how
Banana
dangerous it is to be
He
approached.
kontol siya. He
The
kontol.
source released by a host is very dangerous when
It's for me
inhaled.
lah. I say.
A host will release a cloud of spores into the air, which will be picked up by wind and carried great distances. If an organism inhales the spores, the particles will find their way into the organism's brain and infect them. An infected organism will show no symptoms of infection right away, but a
Just gotta hit
couple
some
hours
people.
after
Why is it
infection, the infected organism's behavior and thought process will change. The first symptoms that appear are restlessness, sluggish movement, numbness of joints, and lack of coordination. Then more
Yep.
serious symptoms appear over time.
That's-
These include dizziness,
you watch it.
migraines,
I have-
impaired speech, and trembles. If you or someone you know show these symptoms, contact poison control or emergency
Hey,
services.
crazy or not? You want to go to IMH?
After a total of 6 to 7 hours after infection, the organism will cease all activities they were previously doing and begin to walk. The direction the infected will walk is towards the host whose spores have been inhaled by the infected individual.
Walk sideways, huh?
If the infected
Like,
makes their
What?
way to the
What?
host, they
What?
will
Like,
kneel down
where's
in
the-
front of it, expose their vital organs, and the host will promptly gut and remove those organs. The host will consume them and
What? Bro.
discard the
Are you talking
leftover
about, like-
scraps. However, if an infected organism doesn't reach the host within a 36-hour span or is treated for their infection, the effects will wear off and return back to normal. If a host is unable to find prey or doesn't like its current location, it will unroot itself and move to a new location.
And
Their scarce numbers and the hazard of being around one makes getting info about the host very daunting. All you need to currently know is that the host is extremely dangerous and should be
You need to
avoided
go up.
at all costs. Next, the monoliths. The monoliths. The monolith is a very new creature, only showing up in June of 1972, in the area of
hey, stop
There
cussing
are
lah.
only 7 monoliths, all of them located in a circular position, 1.5 kilometers in diameter. This ring of monoliths surrounds
Alamak, oh, they react so much.
the monolith is a Titanic-sized being, measuring roughly 120 meters in height.
Ni, look at thing is. Oh!
Each monolith has 2 trunk legs that are firmly embedded underground. The legs connect to a torso. The creature itself is made of hundreds of thousands of meaty strands, tightly woven together to form the structure. These strands end at the neck, fusing into a solid mass of hardened flesh in the shape of an upside-down triangle.
Measure the angle of triangles. Oh no.
With a hole in its center. On each side of the monolith where arms would be, there are dozens of long, rope-like appendages. These reach just barely to the ground. At the creature's feet, the strands go deep into the earth and extend horizontally a decent distance away. What the monoliths do is simply stand and do nothing. The only activity documented that the monoliths have done was in during this period, they were extremely aggressive. When the group of were making their way to the city, the monolith that they had passes roared a deep bellow and swung its appendages at the team, completely wiping them out. When military vehicles were dispatched, once they got close enough top the monolith, it roared another call, this time releasing an EMP blast, completely knocking the vehicles out in the vicinity. Finally, long-distance rockets were fired and struck the creature.
Was she having orgasms?
Although damaged, it regenerated at great speed and resumed its stance unscathed. Eventually, the area has been fenced off and is now restricted to all. Ever since, the monolith stands silently. Now,
This is
only
one
a
for secondary
spectacle
school.
of awe and mystery,
It's like that.
only
No,
adding
the
more
fence, the way
questions
they-
to these myth beings.
I got it.
And finally, The last creature on this list is
Need your circle. Another ball.
the singularity is an orb comprised of a dark-colored mineral with hints of luminous
Beat. Beat.
colors within its core. The singularity is estimated to be 1 meter in diameter.
One beat.
The
So
orb
small.
has several unique qualities that are not
Take this
well
out.
understood. The singularity typically can be found suspended in air by an unseen force. There are also a variety of reading that have been documented coming from the orb itself. Various things like magnetic fields and
Whoa! Ayolah.
signatures and other pattern-like signals released by the singularity. The population of these creatures is unknown. Almost all info about the singularity is hidden or confiscated by officials. We were only able to receive one classified document about the singularity being held by marvelous and majestic world that exists today. It's as extraordinary to have such strange and mysterious beings appear all around us. Thank you for joining us on this journey of exploration and discovery of the lives of these living meat creatures.
Oh, you gonna watch like what? Like the live. You want it? That time, huh?
You don't come to us for
We have like 2 hours. Wrong channel. Find like one that was like yeah. One spot. This is not. Bro, let me share. This is the leader share. Wanna stay up? So yeah, we're gonna end this stream here and we're gonna continue the rest of the tomorrow or if I start or when it or Wednesday. Okay.